So now networks and types of OTDRs, and everyone thinks that no, there is only one OTDR can be tested for all the networks. No, there are different networks in the system, and not one OTDR is suitable for all that. That's very clear. So there's a different segment of OTDRs in a way. So most of the all those vendors, Chinese vendors and all that, they have only one sort of OTDRs. Only it can find point-to-point systems, and that too with a low sampling resolutions and low things and all that. So when you talk about the networks, there are various networks are available. Based on the network, you have to use the OTDR. Okay, let's know about them. So in a different way, we have around 4 types of OTDRs with us. So one is basically used for your FTTH and your MDU network, where people usually have internet and CATV connections as end user application. For that, we have a one type of model. So we have that particular segment of product that is used only for the FTTH networks and things and all the stuff. Okay. Few has got a long distance and core network and all that with the CWDM methodologies and metro and all that. So we have a different product or different OTDR for that application. And for a long haul and ultra long haul, where national long distance NLDs and transport departments where they use, they have to go with the long haul OTDR system, because primarily these OTDRs are not suitable for them because their dynamic range is very low here. These requires a very high dynamic range. Some could be 46 dB dynamic range or 50 dB dynamic range of OTDRs here. Long haul and ultra long haul national long distance OTDRs, they are different. And for the data centers, of course, they have to use in conjunction with our IL systems. Okay. And that has to be in conjunction with that. And both OTDR and together, it really meets the requirement of the data center standards. Okay, we will discuss few of them. So when you talk about the PON optimized or FTTH networks today, we see, so there is a ONT here and there is a OLT. Okay, so the transmission starts from in a bidirection here. So this is your central office, and this is your end customers. Okay, we always recommend when you are measuring your OTDR testing, you must always use the OTDR from the customer premises side, that is a ONU side, to the central office or OLT side. Okay, you must always make sure that the direction of testing is from ONU to OLT. That's what it is very important to consider. Okay, if you do it from this side, it is not able, it will see all these reflections back because you're not able to justify that which one is faulty and which one is not faulty. So the one which is faulty, you connect it here and you're able to find the problem wherever that is existing here. So you always try to do a testing when there is a PON networks, you do it from the ONU side, not from CO side. Now, FTTH networks will have the live network scenarios where you need to test when the signal is on, because you can't cut off the line because some of the networks are running on that. So if you are to work on them, so you need to use your live fiber testing OTDR. Those OTDRs will have a special port. These special ports are being filtered OTDR ports. Okay. So whenever you say about the live OTDRs, the filtered OTDRs are to be used in this case. So this filter, what it will do? It will filter the network traffic, whatever coming. It may be whatever the tri-wavelength, 1310, 1419, 1550. It only sends 1650 from that and receives only 1650 what it has sent. So this filter port, live port, can only find in case of a live network scenarios. Means your basic OTDR will not able to test. It will give you a message that live network is there. Kindly disconnect the port from the live port, live cable or whatever. So live patch cable. So to test them, you need to have a live OTDR. Means the network is different and application is different. So you need to use a different OTDR here. Otherwise, you have to cut off one of the CO line, and then you have to do with a normal basic test and complete it. So always recommend to use live port when there is a signal that presents. use live port OTDR. Also, we have a CWDM and DWDM OTDRs where a specific wavelength which has been tuned will be able to pass through and able to get a reflection right of that. So this is specialized OTDRs and where CWDM, WDM OTDRs to be used. Okay. Now, when you talk about the metro and core, this is very important. Wherever the 100G and 400G internal traffic is in place, high density things and all that, they do have internal core or ring networks within the city of many rings, or not one or two, maybe plenty of them maybe. And also to the metro from one point to the other point of station to station point of it. So it will able to, you have to use a different type of classification of the OTDRs here. It's not being to the same OTDR that can be used. Like I normally use for the FTTH network with a small dynamic range with 30 dB doesn't work on this case. It's okay. You have to use a different OTDR in this application. So this is different type. Similarly, for the cellular network people, they have to use a different classification of OTDRs to test because the 5G networks are going to come up with the O-RAN technologies and all that, all those ECPRI transmission and the radio overhead methodologies. Then you need to use a different application of OTDR here. Last one, best one to be is data centers are very important for all our data to make sure that it is secure and in place. So in conjunction to that, wherever the data centers are in use, the person need to have a single mode and multi-mode together combined OTDRs. Not only one OTDR doesn't work here. Because when you find this orange color thing, then definitely it is going to be a multi-mode. If it is in yellow, that is going to be in a single mode one. So you need to be very specific into the task that you cannot use the same OTDR that is used, a single mode OTDR when you are using for multi-mode systems. You need to use the multi-mode OTDR for that. Okay. And the OTDR must meet the TI and EIS standards as per the data center's requirement. So you have to use the TI and EIS standards. So it must be very clear that unless until the standards are not met, they don't allow you to use them actually. So you must be able to meet the requirement along with max 945 ISAT patterns. So you do the testing with the bidirection and able to find out it. Okay. Now, so application by solution that we have a different models of the OTDRs like 7600E, 76 and all the stuff, right? And max 715D is the latest one where you can use at the FTTH level and all the stuff. And whenever the PON networks are there, you can use the 730D is the best model. And for single and multi-mode, we can use our 720C model into it. Okay. And for CWDM and all that, we can go for a higher level of it. So as we told about the system here, the application, as I told you in the beginning, that for FTTH, this is your actually the CO point, and this is ONT or ONU point actually here. So we can test various OTDRs at different type of equipment that will be connected. Even we do have OX1 to connect at the ONU level and test the network and qualify the system. So these OTDRs basically try to do it from the ONU side to the ONT side, as I mentioned you in the beginning. So there's always best to do that.